My feeling is that a server is the ambassador of the restaurant.
The art of serving really has to do with an individual's feelings for others and wanting to please others, and that's really critical. If they enjoy pleasing others and creating a great feeling, those are the kind of people that we look for. The power of the smile.
The best way to make everybody understand and comprehend hospitality is to simply treat everybody the same way you would like to be treated.
Well, service is related to a lot to the technical, to the mechanical part of it. And hospitality would be really more of the feeling part of the experience.
The hospitality is the most important aspect of the experience, creating the feeling with the guest. Certainly the service must be good, the food must be excellent, and it all gets into, again, hiring the right people.
Is that a profession? Yes, without a doubt. That's a profession.
When guests arrive at your restaurant, their first impression is based on how they are greeted and how the dining room looks and feels. A perfectly detailed dining room sparkles. Everything looks in its place, and your guest feels both welcomed and cared for. When setting up your dining room, you need to look at both the big picture and the small details. The big picture starts with the placement of the dining tables. They should be visually balanced and aligned. Be sure that your layout accommodates a full house and leaves enough room for the waitstaff to move around each guest. The room may look great empty, but you need to visualize
Handling plates and delivering food is a primary task for the server. Your staffing structure may have backwaiters or runners who carry the food. In some establishments, a team will carry the plates to the table. Others have one server who uses a tray to carry items. You want to deliver plated food safely to the guest and have it look as beautiful as it did when the chef plated the dish. If the tray does not have a cork or non-skid surface, you can place a damp napkin on the tray to prevent slipping. First, place heavy items in the center of the tray slightly toward you. Place flatware and smaller items on the outer edges. Never stack cold food on top of hot food when plate covers are used, because heat travels up. If you use a tray to carry beverages, place them near the center of the tray. Don't let anything project over the edge of the tray where it can be easily knocked off. Remember, don't overload the tray and be sure to keep your hair away from open plates of food. A tray should contain no more than 6 to 8 covered plates with flatware placed around the edge. Any more than that, get help or make additional trips. To lift a tray, slide it over the edge of the tray stand or table about 6 inches. Position yourself alongside the tray, bend your knees, and place your palm and fingers under the edge of the tray toward the middle of its broad side. Grip the edge of the tray with your free hand. Slide the tray out and onto your palm or fingertips. When carrying a tray at shoulder level, known as the high carry, hold your upper arm close to your body and your elbow against the body. Lift with your legs, not your arms. The tray should not rest on your shoulder. This can throw it off balance and may also soil the shoulder of your shirt or vest. The high carry is very effective when carrying a tray through a crowd. Always look toward where you're walking. If you focus on the tray, you may cause an accident. Always put your tray down on a stand before removing or placing something on it. Again, bend at your knees, lower the tray to the tray stand, and slide it over to be certain it is balanced. When carrying a cocktail tray at waist level, keep your shoulders back. Slouching shoulders can make a tray unstable. The weight of the tray should rest on your hand. The tray may touch your forearm, but the load should not rest there or it may tip. When maneuvering through a crowd, guard the tray with your other hand. When using a tray to clear a table, the plates may be scraped out of view of the guests. Be aware of guests at other tables who may be watching you. Scraped plates should not be stacked more than 5 high and no more than 2 stacks per tray. Visually, it's a good idea to cover the piles with a serviette or napkin as you work. Stack heavy items near the middle of the tray slightly closer to one side. Its center of gravity will be slightly to that side, and you'll pick it up from that side. Empty bottles should be laid down so they won't fall over. Avoid stacking bowls or cups since they can chip. Bus tubs are often used in operations with high turnover. Speed is important. Rest the tub on a rolling cart or on a tray stand. Too often nearby chairs are used, but if the bottom of the tub is wet, you may stain the seat. Like trays, bus tubs should never be set on tables. Place refuse into one corner of the tub. Load the largest dishes first, placing heavy items in the center. Cups and bowls may be nested. Place glasses upright to one side. Don't put anything into glasses that can cause them to crack, chip, or tip over. Flatware should go on the opposite side from the refuse so that they aren't accidentally tossed out in the trash. Load butter dishes, creamers, and other food receptacles last. If a rolling cart is not used, carry the bus tub over your shoulder or in front with a clean cloth covering the top to hide the soiled plates.
In order to provide truly excellent service, a server should have a full understanding of beverages, including water service, cocktail service, dining restaurants and many bistros take reservations, though casual and family restaurants may not. Your front-of-the-house crew may have a person who takes reservations. It may be the manager, reservationist, or possibly a maitre d'. In any case, the process of taking a reservation should be understood by the whole waitstaff. How the reservation is handled will be the first good impression a guest has of your restaurant. The reason a restaurant takes reservations is to fill the dining room to capacity while staggering the timing of the seatings. This will help avoid overloads in both the kitchen and the dining room. Your restaurant should have a
You can answer a question for me.
Very good.
What are the Japanese udon noodles?
Japanese udon noodles are...
As a server, you need to be able to answer any question a guest may have, from the ingredients to the method of preparation to knowledge about food allergies. Your guests will clearly appreciate your attention to detail and feel more confident in your service. The pre-meal meeting is where you'll get this information. Just prior to service, you and the service staff will meet with the chef and dining room manager. You'll discuss any issues that may affect the service, such as inclement weather that can affect travel times, hear about
steps you take to serve your guests are determined by your restaurant's style of service and sometimes its cuisine. The style of service at the family-owned diner will be very different from the service at a four-star restaurant. We chose to follow the mid-level, fine dining, American style of service. This sequence of service gives us a chance to look at most of the familiar steps of the main event. This style is not as formal as French or Russian service, though it is more elaborate than the casual bistro. Remember, the basic principles are the same, whether your restaurant uses placemats or tablecloths. The basics of honest, respectful service are universal. We'll look at the main event in 4 parts. First, seating the guest to order taking. Then, delivery of the first courses to clearing. Next, we'll talk about delivery of the entree to decrumbing the table. And finally, the dessert order to check handling. Your supervisor will help to identify the steps that fit your style of service. Take what you need and leave the rest. As soon as they arrive at your door, your guests should feel welcomed. It can set the tone for the entire evening. Usually, your maitre d', manager, or host is the one to greet the guests, though you may be assigned to do this important task. It's essential to make a good impression from the start. A warm smile and good eye contact will help make this greeting successful. Avoid standing with your back to the front door. A good rule of thumb is that guests should be greeted within 30 seconds of their arrival. Walk calmly towards your guests. Make eye contact and speak to them first. Greet them according to the time of day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Unlike a standardized phone greeting, your welcoming remarks should vary slightly with each group. Otherwise, it won't sound sincere. Use the guest's name if you know it.
Miller, how are you? Great to see you. First, welcome.
Body language plays a big part in this communication. Be open and friendly and show respect without being submissive or condescending. Please don't let the first words out of your mouth be, "Do you have a reservation?" This can put off the guest and come across as adversarial. Be sure to bring an appropriate amount of menus for the party. If there is a waiting period before a table is ready, you may want to direct them to the bar or seating area and let them know that you will find them when their table is ready. Some restaurants will use call buzzers to notify waiting guests that they are ready to be seated. Depending on the weather, you may want to offer to check their coats or umbrellas. It can be another small touch that will add to the overall experience. If the seating assignments were not already determined by the Here we will deliver and clear the main course. Your guests have settled in and have had their first courses. You've made a good impression and established a rhythm with the table. It can be a delicate balance between checking in to see if they have what they need and interrupting too often. Throughout the meal, you need to constantly read your guests. Many times you will find out more through body language than with direct verbal cues. You will have to be aware if a guest needs something or wants to be left alone. If wine is to be served with the main course, it should be opened and served before the food is delivered. Styles of wine service are different from place to place. Sometimes the bottle is opened on a separate cart, sometimes on the table. White wine is served differently than red wine and differently than sparkling wines. See the section on beverage service for more details. All flatware should be on the table before the food arrives. Also, be sure there will be enough room for larger entree plates when they arrive. The kitchen will let you know that the entrees for your table are ready, though you may just have to check in periodically. Pick up the plated food in the kitchen in reverse order of how it is to be served.
Someone follow us with that herb. It's gonna go right on the tripod.
Either have someone help you or use the 3-plate carry method explained in the appetizers section. Remember, never carry more than you can handle. The first plate you pick up is the last one you will set down on the table. Whether alone or with help from other servers, remember china should be handled with the thumb at the edge of the rim of the plate, not on any part that might contain food. Serving entrees follows the same method as the appetizers. Ladies first, served from the right side, with the waiter's right hand, and so on. Once all the plates are on the table, you may want to restate what each entree is, so your guest will be certain they received what they ordered.
And last but not least, again, the tea smoked salmon. Is there anything else I might get for you right now?
While your guests are enjoying their entrees, check in occasionally to see if they need anything. Use a line like, "Is there anything else I can get for you?" Avoid lines like, "Is everything all right?" which can put the guest on the spot while they mentally review the whole meal. Though some guests may finish their meal earlier than others, it is still appropriate to wait until everyone is done before you begin clearing the table.
Hey, take this out of your way.
You also clear plates from the right with your right hand. While clearing from the right, you move around the table in a clockwise direction. Plates can be carried out of the dining room in the same manner as you delivered them. 3 plates in one arm and the 4th in the free hand. Your restaurant may use a tray and a stand for clearing. In some dining rooms, plates may be scraped out of view of your guests. Be aware of guests at other tables who may be watching you. Scraped plates should not be stacked more than 5 high, and no more than 2 stacks per tray. Stack heavy items near the middle of the tray, slightly closer to one side. Its center of gravity will be slightly to that side, and you pick it up from that side. In the dish
dining room can be a hectic place. Servers and guests are always moving in every direction, carrying sharp objects and hot foods. Accidents don't just happen.
Tighter center of gravity.
They're usually caused by neglect, carelessness, thoughtlessness, and ignorance. Most accidents can be avoided if everyone takes a little extra effort to look around. Slips and falls account for most accidents in restaurants. Servers and guests can easily fall over obstacles like furniture, cords,
No matter how good the food is, if a guest's first impression comes from soiled tablecloths, dirty glasses, or a sloppy server, they probably won't come back. According to the National Restaurant Association, one of the most important customer considerations when choosing a restaurant is cleanliness. The hectic nature of the dining room often leads to lapses in basic sanitation procedures. Foodborne illnesses can result from unsanitary procedures within both the kitchen and the dining room. Washing your hands often is one of the best ways to limit their spread. Some common areas where you can improve general sanitation are condiment dispensers. Salt and pepper shakers and sugar bowls should be run through a dishwasher weekly. Ketchup, mustard, and jelly jars should be wiped down daily. The hot water and detergent used in commercial dishwashers can kill most pathogens. Check and replace table tents and tabletop cards. Replace the paper items if they get dirty and wipe down the laminated ones. Protect the ice bin. Scoops for the bin should not be used for anything else, and other containers like cups or pans should not double as ice scoops. Never allow glass to enter the bin or to be used as a scoop. This ice